Hey, hello everyone. Welcome
Greetings.
back for another. Yeah, so we got Jay here from True Serial with us because, as I said in the description, this is about the Stauch case, Leticia Stauch. And Jay, it's just too much for me to handle. And I never thought I would say that about a legal case because you know I love this stuff. But
Man, I
it
tell
is.
you, the more you learn about this case, the weirder it gets.
It's just weird. And it is sad in the beginning. And like I don't want to make light of it, everyone. It is tragic. It starts with the unfortunate murder of an 11-year-old boy, the stepchild of Leticia Stauch. His name was Gannon, and by all accounts, he's a lovely child. There doesn't appear to be any problem. But he was not did not die of natural causes. He definitely was murdered, and the only person in the vicinity at the time that could have accomplished that was his stepmother, Leticia. Uh, Other members of the family, I'll just give you a brief history, are Al, who is Gannon's father. Leticia has no blood relation. She is the stepmother. So they married, Al and Leticia, and she became the stepmother of Gannon, who is 11, and also Lena, who was 8 years old, a young girl. Um, Leticia has a daughter who is 17, and her name is Haley. And in some of the evidence, you'll hear all of those names mentioned. But they lived in El Paso, Colorado, right? This is in Colorado, and
The Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs, and the one of the police departments was the yes, that was the elder.
Yeah, the ESPO.
Yes, yeah, the ESPO. That's where I'm getting that. Well, they lived in a home. Apparently through. How to begin, Jay? How to
I know.
begin?
It's like, where do you want to begin with this?
Mm. Because it's already, first of all, he went missing in January of 2020. So it's been well over almost going towards 2 years now. It's like a year and 3 quarters already. Quite some time for this case to be settled out. They did arrest her quite quickly. She was arrested before the body was even found, based upon the evidence that they found in the home, and based on her rather crazy statements in regards to what may or may not have happened. She's the one who actually reported him missing. I found that curious, yeah, Jay. Like,
Mhm.
she just finally said that he went for a sleepover and he never came back home. You
Yeah,
know, like,
just so everybody knows, we give a little timeline here. She reported him missing on the 27th of January, and she was arrested on March 2nd.
right. So that's pretty quick.
And there's a
That's
lot of information to cut through in just that short amount of time. Usually, to get as much information as we have, usually takes months to
but that's
gather in.
yeah.
No, not this time.
Hmm. Yeah, and you remember the last case when Jay was in the chat and going back and forth saying, "No, it's all circumstantial. Like you can't do that. Like there's no real like evidence." In this one, right? We have
Mhm.
evidence everywhere. The
It's
reason the case
everywhere.
went so
Yeah.
fast is that as soon as they started investigating his missing, they found blood evidence. They found all kinds of things in the home. They were able to trace blood throughout the house in several different areas. With
So
this statements and from video cameras of neighbors of contradicting what Leticia said. And I'm gonna let Jay take this one because she changed her story so often that I can't even keep it straight. Like I know what they're saying happened, and I kind of believe that because this woman changed her mind so like
Mhm.
just kept adding to it and taking it away. But basically, just on her statements alone, they had enough evidence to file charges on her. I'll just leave it at that.
well,
Do you want to? Yeah.
yeah. Well, I do want to clarify something up. The difference
Mhm.
between this case and last week's case. Last week's case, there was no evidence of a body. There was
Mhm.
no evidence of any foul play in the house. They found no blood evidence or anything like that they've mentioned. Now, they may be holding that close to the vest. They didn't have anything to say she was dead, and they didn't have anything to say that she was alive. So that one's a kind of a slippery slope. That's why I
Hmm.
said it's kind of hard to charge him for this because there's no proof of death.
Right.
In
And I
this
kept
case,
arguing proof of life, right? We
yeah,
were going
yeah,
back and forth, yeah.
but in this case, we have blood evidence, we have video evidence, we they there's blood evidence all over the room. There was Google searches. I mean, there's so many different things that we can actually link to his death. So we have this is one of them cases where even if they don't have a body, they still have enough evidence to say yes, someone was killed here.
Hmm.
And then that's
Something happened, yeah.
something happened. This is what we that's the difference between this case and last week's case.
Hmm.
But that being said, this woman can't keep her phone her statements correct. I mean, she has
Hmm.
said everything from he went to a friend's house and I never seen him again to I was being raped in my basement and he Gannon,
Hmm.
which is the little boy's name, jumped on his back and the guy
Hmm.
killed him to he we were driving down the road and he was on his bike on the highway and he fell and he hit his head and then this other guy come and snatched him up and then took off with she can't keep her story straight from
Hmm.
doesn't matter who she's talking to.
Hmm.
In her own phone call to her husband Al, she changed her story 4 times in one
Hmm.
phone call.
And then she wonders why Al's not talking to her.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Gee, I wonder why they won't have anything to do with me. And one of the things that she did was file that she didn't, it that was crazy enough, not keeping your stories or your alibis in straight. But just to go over like some of the evidence that they have on the case. But they did finally find the body. But before that, there was the incriminating evidence that right after she reports him, like she's reporting him missing, and then they find out that she had like rented a van when she has perfectly usable vehicles all right there, had no real reason for renting the van, had been traveling to stranger areas, and one of the strongest pieces of evidence, and this is becoming more and more popular with legal cases, especially, when they have to pinpoint where people are. The GPSs of all the vehicles added with the phone data has nailed her to every location that something happened,
Yeah.
including exactly where they found the body, exactly where they found the body. They got GPS of her right there. The body was found by bridge workers, by county bridge workers. It was in Pensacola, Florida. She drove 1,400 miles away to dispose of the body, allegedly, because they are in trial now. They've had their preliminary hearing where all of this evidence we're talking about today, much of it was presented. Some of it came out more, like the autopsy report, and that they had matched bullets to the gun that they had found on the premises. That all came out in court within the last few weeks. There are still legal precedents, things going back and forth, which we'll get into later. But as far as what she is being charged with, she's being charged with murder. Yeah, she's
Hmm.
being charged of murder of a minor, someone under the age of 12, who you are directly responsible for. And that is a caveat as far as sentencing. If you're committed guilty of that, that's going to be a little bit more because it's you had authority over that person and responsibility. There is disposing kind of irresponsibly handling remains of a body. Like you're just getting her on that, like she disposed of it improperly. Um, uh, the altering of the messing around with evidence. And then after the autopsy, they added 8 counts of violence against someone with use of a gun, a blunt object, or a sharp implement. And that's based on the autopsy report on what actually killed Gannon was a bullet wound to the jaw, a skull wound, a skull fracture from a blunt object, and multiple sharp implement wounds to the front and back. And the most disturbing part of that, and I don't mean to trigger anyone, but there was multiple defense wounds on his arms and his hands and in areas for this child.
I didn't see the autopsy report anywhere. Do you know which one what file that was under?
No, but if you go to KDPO, the autopsy
What
report is not in the
was that
file.
in? Was that
Mm-mm.
in there?
It's sealed. No, KDPO
Yeah,
is a
the
news
KRDO.
organization. Yeah, and they actually reported what they found in it. They
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
They just reported the words. They didn't show the report.
Oh, okay.
You see, one of the things interesting about this case is it keeps going back is sealed and unsealed and sealed and unsealed. And so you're really like, you'll see I'm not showing a lot of stuff on the screen because I don't know what's going to get sealed like in 5 minutes from now. I don't want to. There was people that got accused of leaking the affidavit well before, like one of the court reporters got accused of that, leaking the affidavit, the actual arrest affidavit prior. Then the letter got leaked out before that's the one thing I want to bring up also. I didn't mention it.
That letter.
Is that Leticia's been writing to the judge. Yeah, she's up on charges. She's, I just told you she's up on murder charges. This is serious, okay? And she's sitting in her cell. She's been remanded with no bail. They think that she should not get out, that she needs to stay there until this is all settled. And one of the reasons might be because she keeps writing to the judge. I wouldn't want her out there. She is not being very cooperative, or she's changing her story. She has tried to escape on multiple times. They have witness testimony from the people at the jail, cellmates, and multiple people that come in and out of the jail, that she is trying to coerce people to get her out of there on the inside and on the outside, because she thinks she told the judge she had a private investigator, but then she tells them she needs to get out to get a private investigator because she's innocent and she needs to prove it, and only she can, because a lawyer can't. Because in these letters that she's writing to the judge, she is telling them that they can't represent her because of her mental issues and because they don't understand her, and that they're not doing what she wants. They're not looking at the specific evidence that she wants. They're wasting their time on legalities, like informing the family and gathering the evidence of witnesses and character things that they need to do to represent her, and to proving the facts that she has given them. Instead of just taking her word for it, they are obligated to bring evidence to support all this stuff. So they're doing that kind of stuff, and she's like, no, I want you to do this. Like, you need to go to the video store and secure that footage. Why? We have no idea. They could have been from days before. Nobody even knows about the video. But she's sending them on goose, trying to send them, and she felt they weren't paying attention to her and taking her direction as the way that she wanted. So she did get to represent herself. I don't know if that's good or bad. Everybody has the right to do it. That just went through a few months, I think about 2 months ago. The judge did say, okay, so they stepped down, the attorneys, because they're not getting along. And at that point, they have to appoint someone as an advisor attorney to her. Because even though you're representing yourself, you could get yourself into a legal term if something comes up you don't understand. You should have the ability to ask for advice at that time, or get exactly what it means, what's going on, if you don't fully understand. And it's in the best interest of both parties, because the court doesn't want to have to go through this again and get a mistrial because she claims unfair knowledge or this or that. She does waive quite a few rights when you represent yourself. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of taking responsibility.
Like the right to shut the hell up.
we don't mean to laugh. This is I'm sorry. It's just, she's so bizarre. People, I cannot help it. If you saw what she's doing, it's insane. Like the Google searches and stuff. She's upset. She tells all her friends in text messages that her husband is not spending enough time with her or attention and stuff. Well, and she feels like this child, he's just using her as a babysitter for this child, for the children. Okay, that's all he wants her there for, blah, blah, blah. And she wants to get better with it. And, she's loves him so much, and she just wants to be only with him. And then a day later, right, Jay, she's searching military, single military men available in the area or whatever.
Okay, hang on. I actually have that.
You have the Google searches, because they give, not only did the GPS evidence, which put her in every location that you can think of, that all of the things happened, including where the body was located, being at the house during the time frame that the autopsy is saying he could have demised, like what they think happened based on other testimony of people coming and going. Now there was some that like they show you the searches, but did you have the deleted ones too, Jay? Like there was like 5 or 6
There's
deleted
12
ones.
deleted searches, and I've still been trying to find that. I heard it on that podcast I listened to, but I
I got
haven't
them.
been able to find
No,
it. You got the 12?
those I got. I have the 12 because they're not as bad as the ones she saved. The
I know.
ones she didn't delete. I mean, like that's crazy, right? You
Well,
do the non-deleted, and then
Yeah,
I'll
if you
tell them
want to,
what you
yeah, if
deleted.
you want to share the screen here.
Okay, let me bring that up.
I'll see if I can blow this up so it's a little easier to read.
Yeah, can you read it? I cannot see it.
I can read
You
it.
can read it. Let's read it. Well, at least they know they're coming from a real document. This was given
Yeah.
right. Also, this is not only is it on available from KRDO. If you want to research anything on this case, they have some good stuff on there. They were very precise. They're all over it, and they're actually pulling information right from the affidavits. This particular document that Jay has up comes right from the arrest documentation and probable cause statement book.
Yeah, this website is really good. I mean, it's got a great timeline. But anyway, so
Yep.
we probably won't go through all 34.
Just pick the most bizarre that she said. Pick the weirdest ones
Well,
on there
okay.
that she didn't delete.
So-
like she didn't delete them. I don't know why she didn't delete those. So she
So
worried about
this is
others.
mind you, she reported Gannon missing on the 27th. They believe he was killed on the 25th. So on the 25th, she researched find real military singles. I'm overdoing all the work for my stepkids, and their mom doesn't help. If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you're shitty. Let's see. Where's some other cool odd ones? Find me a rich guy who wants me to take care of his kids. Find a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid. My son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? Will the humidifier help if exposed to smoke? The smoke from fire effects, will humidifier help? Colorado law for kids staying at home.
Yeah.
So school is out. Is it okay for my kid to stay home alone? Son is sick. I can't go to work. Suede repair ideas for sofa. Then on the 27th is where she looked up the El Paso County. That's where Colorado Springs is a sheriff's office phone number. What's the process for our runaway child? Police steps for runaway. Police steps for missing child. Today's flight looks like OKC to COS. Here's an odd one that I didn't understand. So this is from the 28th is, can Nintendo find my Switch? And then the last one here they are asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. So that's the 34 she left on her computer. You want to bring up the 12 that she that she deleted, because those are funny.
I think I just want to say I think something's going on with somebody's laptop or something. There's some errors going on. Anybody that is currently timed out, just wait the 30 seconds. I think something just happened with their computer system. I don't, but we'll figure it out. So my apologies. And there's well, that is crazy to me, all of that, because the things that she did delete were are not going very well for her, because they do show some strife in the relationship. Things like find me a new husband book. I just feel like I'm a nanny, not a stepmom. Are there any free money to move away from a bad situation?
Yeah, that was the odd one for me. I was like, what?
Yeah, give me some free money so I can get out of here. I'm just a glorified babysitter. Find a new husband. I sent my husband sexy messages and he ignores me. Make my husband want me more. I feel like my husband uses me to babysit his kids. And this one really hit home. Find a guy without kids. Find a guy without kids. Like that just bothered me. Um, Gretchen and Rakin, I apologize. There's something going on with Digi's computer. It's friendly fire, we call it. It doesn't often happen. Peter, rein in your mods, man. Just like,
Come on, Pete.
go, Pete. Just like training sessions. No, I'm joking. These things happen. We have to make light of them. It's not intentional.
Oh, I couldn't tell you how many times I've hit friendly fired people going, shit, wrong one, sorry.
I do. If I lean forward on the laptop because I'm sitting on my bed most of the time, everybody knows I like to be comfortable. I'm sitting there like Indian style, laptop in front of me. If I leave too close, you know how they have that square that's the mouse, in the. Well, let me just tell you, it could be rogue modding all over the place with that thing. It doesn't work, but it is quite distressing that she was very unhappy. That's part of motive here, I believe. What do you think, Jay? Do you think that's a good motive?
Yeah, I could say that.
You could see that more so than in the Millet case where he was just searching for Chris.
What is going
Hold on
on,
a second.
Davros?
I don't know, but you know what's going. You know what's I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to find him. Hold on a second, and I'm gonna have to Where is he? The heck?
You
What
know,
is
I
going
wonder
on?
if isn't he at work? I wonder if he's got his phone in his pocket.
I think he does because now I can't. Where is he? Because I gotta get him and I gotta
I
wait.
know you find out up towards the top.
No, he's not on the list anymore. Did one of you guys?
No, we can't take him out of a mod. Only
No,
you can.
yeah, I'm gonna give me a second. Dav, I'm gonna have to get you. We're gonna have to solve this because you're getting everybody. It's like no matter what anybody types, it automatically does it. It's a little bit odd to me. Yeah, but anyway, Jake, what do you find to be the most like? I think it's the GPS evidence is one of the most damaging evidence that they have against her. What do you
Um,
think?
actually, for me, it's the blood in the room.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
that's the, that's the most damning, and the fact that she said, and this is the part that gets me, that the guy that attacked her and basically killed Gannon asked her for a suitcase and a cardboard box. Now
mm-hmm,
Gannon was found in a suitcase with particle board almost wrapped into it. So she's lying about this story, but she adds this suitcase and the cardboard box into the story to help because that's what she did with him. She stuffed him in the suitcase with the cardboard box. I mean, plus she didn't even really try to cover up anything. If you look at
mm-hmm.
the scenes in the bedroom, and it's just like, did she even try to clean up what happened in this room? I mean, the blood stains on the mattress, and I mean, he was wrapped like you said in his comfort in his blanket with his pillow, but the mattress was still bloody. There was still blood on the walls. They found blood inside one of the uh, light sockets, so it hit and slipped down, into it. So yeah, it's kind of yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I absolutely cannot see her getting off on this for this at all.
I
The
don't. I
evidence,
don't.
yeah, the
I,
evidence is just too overwhelming in
it
this
is.
case.
I think so too because you're talking about the blood that was there. There was so much, and it was
Hmm.
like it was actually in so many different places. They they found blood in so many different places that it was not. Not only when they went back later, didn't they even find it in the garage leading up
They
to
found
like
it in the garage. They
they
found it
found it
on
in
the
the
bumper of
garage,
the car. They found it
right? And
in the trunk of the car,
right in the hallway,
in the
the
hall.
bedroom.
Yeah.
The bed is clearly soaked with blood. There was quite a few other things going on. Um, Okay, I apologize, everyone. It should be cleared. Our rogue mod, I did derange for now because I do believe they were modding from work, and possibly their phone is in their pocket or something, and some buttons may be hidden that don't look very good. And it's not Mrs. Cassandra. Please don't tell people it's my boobs timing people out. Although that is very funny. I mean, it could happen on Mayhem, but they are restrained from doing any such thing tonight. But no, yeah. No, I think that that's resolved. Hopefully those of you that are timed out, I'm sorry. Anybody that was accidentally hidden, which I'm going to go again and look to make sure that that's not going on. But I can definitely take care of that after. Please keep, watching. I'm sorry that you can't type. But these things happen and it's not on purpose. I hope you understand.
Pete asked a question. Says, Jay, the burn marks could be used to try and hide some of the blood, as in the question you're asking.
Yeah. I think,
No,
yeah.
actually, from what I understand and from what I've read, they believe that the burn on the carpet is what set her off and is what caused her to attack and kill him. Is because he had actually knocked over a candle and burnt the carpet. So they believe that's what set the whole thing off. So yeah, the burn on the carpet was I think was the catalyst.
Mm-hmm. I think that was it, but that was like part of the big story about in the beginning. Didn't she say that she had asked some Spanish neighbor guy
Yeah,
that she just met to come and,
Eduardo.
yeah, Guardo or something to
Yeah,
come and fix these burn marks and all on the carpet to help her with that, and
yep.
that's when the supposed assault happened, and the boy got thrown around and then taken from the home by this stranger that she just met, brought into the house to
Yeah.
fix the carpet. But
Mind you, his name was Eduardo, but when she talked to Al, her husband,
it,
where'd he go?
it became Quincy.
Quincy
That's
Brown.
Quincy Brown because she had
Yeah.
saw it on there. Like she changed the story so many times, but definitely between now that the autopsy report is matching the bullets to the gun, and the gun is definitely got her DNA on it, and it's located in her home. And let's not forget she's the only adult in there at the time that is one-on-one with the child during the period of time because
Mm-hmm.
he is home with a stomach ache. Okay, he's not in school. He's home with a stomach ache,
That is what
and
she claimed. Is he was home on it with a stomach ache.
mhm.
But that was
But
the other thing. That was another thing. If he was homesick with a stomach ache, then why was he going over to a friend's house?
Well, that's the thing. Like, why is he supposedly somewhere else and then just didn't come home? And then why do you have all this other stuff,
Yeah.
afterward? Like, it just kept changing and really quick too. It's not like some other cases where, like, there's a month or two in between interviews and they change something here or there. I'm following that other case, the Morphu, and every time they interviewed him, once he knew they had other evidence, the story changed to try to bring that evidence in and give it a reason. It was quite calculated. This just seems a little crazy, like just a little all over the place, like crazy. Like she's not helping herself. One of the most curious things is pretty soon into it, she decides to contact through the internet a fake polygraph company. Um, and she contracts her own little thing there, orders her test, right? And then she goes and tries to get the results, right? And they're saying, oh no, well, you got this, that, and then it goes through review and they're like, no, we can't give it to you, because they ended up reporting it to the investigators that it was there because she's trying to alter the answers, like some of the questions, like leading questions, to make it look other than what things were, which I think that's where the evidence charge might be covered. Why do you need a false polygraph if you're innocent? Like, it I don't mean to chuckle because this is murder. Like, I can't believe that it's so absurd. It's just so absurd that she's actually looking up a site called Fake Polygraph Company.
Yeah. Fake
Okay.
fake polygraph.org, or was it .com?
I don't even know.
Fake,
I
yeah,
don't even know.
fake,
And
fakepolygraph.com.
right, right. I can't believe that you would even. I could see looking at a company like that to see what they do, but to think that they're going to give you something that you can use to defend yourself, it's just like I just don't get it. She seems smart and then not smart at the same time. Like I can't get it. So I can. I just don't know how. And let me put this forward. She did actually pass her mental competency test and was awarded mental competency in January of 2021. So fit to stand trial, which is why they're going forward. They couldn't find even with all of this going on, a reason that she shouldn't, you know. Now she wants to get out. She keeps trying to say that she needs to be out of prison to be able to defend herself appropriately, and she's going forward. She's writing letters to the judge. She's doing what she can. Um, it's going back and forth. Some things get sealed, some things don't. There was at one point. Now this is interesting. I have to see what happens with this because I didn't see the final order on the result of this. But there was a motion put forward to put a protection order on all the evidence and witness, everything involved with this case, so that the defendant couldn't see it because they were afraid of what would happen because of it. Like,
Yeah,
that seemed very unusual to me.
yeah,
Did you read about that, Jack?
I
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to read that. Like you said, you sent me like 40 freaking things. I'm like, oh Lord.
Yep.
But no, I don't. I want to step back for just a second because I want to clarify
Mm-hmm.
something here. We talk about the things that she did to this young boy. We talk about the gunshot to
Mm-hmm.
the face, the blunt force trauma to the head. What was it, 15 or 20 stab wounds to the body? Is that what you said?
18. 18.
18.
Yeah, I think I can. I
So
think I saw 18. Yeah.
when you have an attack like that, and this is where my my knowledge of serial killers happens to come in handy. Um, is when you have an attacks like that, that is it's an emotional response. It's an emotional attack. There's emotion behind it. It's what they call a oh good lord, it just left my head. There's an crime of passion is what it's called. It's known as a crime of passion, an attack of passion, because there's so much emotion. She could have easily just got away with the gunshot to the face and been done with it. But since she was
Mm-hmm.
so enraged at what was going on, as she not just, I mean, yeah. So, after the gunfire, that didn't work. So she hits him in the head with something. That doesn't work. She's still mad. She's still got all this adrenaline and this anger running. So she
Mm-hmm.
grabs the sharpest thing next to her and just starts stabbing. Those are crimes of passion. Those are things that you will see in a lot of cases when it comes to family members killing other family members. It's almost always a crime of passion. It's very seldom that it's not. Um, yeah, Richard Reverend Ruin says it's a disorganized killer, which it is. It is she's disorganized. The difference between an organized and a disorganized killer is organized killer will set things up in advance, or they will take things to the crime
Mm-hmm.
scene with them. She grabbed the closest thing handy, and it popped off. What I believe it popped off from the burn on the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Do
know
you?
about the gun because I didn't see anywhere else where a gun was involved or mentioned anywhere other
Okay.
than what
Well,
you had
no.
said and then found on the
Yeah.
body.
What they found on the body, but they amended the charges to include a gun, the use of a gun, and a blunt object and a sharp. They're listing all three, so
Yeah.
they do have that. But wait a minute, didn't they say when the charges aren't the charges? Don't the charges include that she perhaps organized first degree murder after deliberation? So that would be contradictory to thinking that she just popped off from the
Well,
candle. Yeah?
that's where I was trying to I was kind of amending what I was saying there because the gun had to have been pre
Yeah.
like at some point there was some point in the and before this thing popped off where she knew where the gun was. She knew what, you know, she was going to use the gun for something. And it just happened to be we won't know until the trial goes on and you know what the motives behind why she killed the little boy. All we can do right now is speculate the reason why.
Right. Well, we have
But
motions that's still coming in December. That trial's not going to be till March of 2022.
but with the gun evidence, like I said, it's kind of hard because, you know, to charge her with first degree, that means she orchestrated it, but everything else, you know, the rest of the attacks on the body, the cleanup, the lying, and everything, that all screams disorganized, a crime of passion. You know, it screams of it happened in the moment type of thing. But the contrary is the gun part, and that's unless she, you know, this happened and she said enough, went to the room, grabbed the gun, come back, shot him in the face. You know, then it's not. But to charge her with first degree, which means there had to be some premeditation involved. And like I said, I don't understand that part of it. I'm not a lawyer.
But, yeah, it says first degree murder after deliberation, and then first degree murder of a person under the age of 12 by someone in a position of trust. Those are very, very specific. Hey, Didge, I'll make you blue later, but you were very bad while you weren't here.
Yeah. Fire going on over there from the
yeah, but he's got a really good excuse. He said it's because he ran out of lotion. Yeah. So there you go. All right, so I get it. All right, yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave with that. But it's all taken care of. I put everybody back I could. And,
okay, yeah. Always grateful. Asked, didn't the daughter go with her when the body was disposed, and then they both went to South Carolina? I know the daughter was involved in getting things to help clean up. Yeah. I don't think the daughter was involved in the killing itself.
We're not sure. I'm not sure at this point. I'm gonna have to read some more. I do apologize, but there's a lot to read, and it's very easy to miss that small. But I'll find out always because I do these updates every week, and next week I'll give you an update on that part. I do know that Leticia, the stepmother, did a text message her daughter with a supply list of stuff to help with the cleanup and all, like you know, the scrub brushes and the things that she needed, the carpet cleaner, all of that kind of stuff. Like she was sending her list of supplies. She was actually getting her daughter to go buy the things she needed to cover up the crime. She involved her daughter that way, which is unconscionable to me. The whole thing, that if it appears that she did the way they're laying out that she did, is unconscionable to me, and that's why I'm having a hard time with the, you know, the bizarreness of it. Is a little like I chuckle a little at how crazy she is, but the seriousness of the crime and what happened to this child, I do not find any humor in it all. Of course, it's beyond me how that can happen. But
you want to answer Davros's question real quick?
Why is my wrench gone? Dav, I was just saying that because you either had your phone in your pocket or somewhere, but you were timing people out and you were hiding people like all over the place. And we don't think it was you. We think something happened with your phone. And so I had to take it away to stop that from happening until you got back, because you weren't here while it was going on. I couldn't get you, you know, and, you know, you dropped it. I'll give it back to you in the room, you know.
Yeah, we didn't think we definitely didn't.
We know, we know. And if you're here back in control of your phone, you know, I love you, Dab. I'm going to give it right back to you, you know.
It was you was butt timing people out as well.
Yeah, I had to give you at least a 20-second penalty for butt fucking everybody all over the place. But I'm thinking it's back now. I'll give it back to you. Just behave yourself, damn it, and don't be hiding my friends. They were all good people. You were kicking people. They were all being good. You know, they had good questions. You know, I hope that they are back. You know, most of them, you know.
He had to go get more lotion.
I'm trying to see, like, I don't see anybody typing. I want to make sure that, like, Gretchen knows she can type again. I know she could see the stream, but she probably couldn't type while she was timed out. Yeah. I know it was weird. You know,
Yeah. So while you're dealing with that, I want to go over a couple of things. I want to go over the 4 different stories she told her
Hmm.
husband in the same phone call.
Yeah, that
Um.
was fun. That was
So
very bizarre. Yeah.
as Leticia is talking to, or Leticia is, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Um. She in one. This is one phone conversation with her husband. Now she said when the EPSO, which is the El Paso State police, came to the house on 127. The abductor was still in the house, and she tried to tell deputies that somebody else was there. The deputies checked the entirety of the house, and found no additional person. Then she says she was raped by Quincy Brown at her home, and Brown abducted Gannon. She knew Brown's identity because she saw a paper with his ID card fall out of his pocket. Leticia sent a photo of Quincy to Al via text.
Hmm.
Quincy, and so now this is the third one. Quincy had followed her from Petco, and at some point was laying in the middle of the road in front of her. When she stopped not to run him over, he jumped in the car and made her take him home, and then that's where he raped her.
Hmm.
The last one, she says, Leticia and Gannon were near County Line Road on Highway 105 in North El Paso County on 127. Gannon was riding his bicycle in the area, fell, hit his head, and was then abducted by Quincy. Quincy then was driven. Excuse me. Quincy Brown was driven by a man named Terrence. So this is 4 different stories of what happened in the exact same conversation to her husband.
Mm.
Now here is one thing I want to point out. That spot on County Line Road near Highway 105 is also where they found blood evidence. Um, that Gannon was there.
Hmm.
They believe that's where she initially stashed the body because there was not too long after the fact she went back to that spot to what they believe is to verify that he hadn't been found yet.
That's just crazy the way she was going back and forth
Yeah.
like that. That is definitely. I don't know now. Oh, it is very very cute. Now that she wants to bring up her mental health at the time that this happened, because she has been declared competent in January, and she's decided she wants to represent herself, and she's messaging the judge back and forth, things like this, and trying to escape jail, and interfering with the case every way she can. But now she wants to actually have mental health experts come in to give not exactly an insanity plea, because they are saying that she's not going to go for insanity, okay, because that's going to limit some of the things that
Now I want to clarify this.
would be the.
I want to
Go ahead.
clarify something.
Hmm.
When somebody tries to declare themselves not guilty by reason of insanity, does
Hmm.
not mean that they were crazy.
Right.
What they're saying is at that point in time, something had happened that they were not aware of what they were doing with their actions, or they could not control their actions at that time. Doesn't mean they
Yeah.
were crazy. A lot of times, what you'll see, excuse me,
It
in
has to do
cases,
with the capacity to know and understand the
yeah,
consequences of the actions you are taking. I mean, that would be the simplest way to put
and
it,
a
right?
lot of times, those that will get off on reasons of insanity, not guilty by reason of insanity, are people that have committed like say a crime,
Hmm.
but were found that they had been drugged prior to, so they were not, you
They
know,
were yeah, they were
yeah, there
incapacitated
was
in some way.
incapacitation there where they were not in control of their own actions.
I
So
do.
it's not necessarily they were crazy,
Hmm.
but but yeah, they were just unable to properly,
Hmm.
yeah.
It it's my opinion only, because everything here is just alleged. Evidence. We see the evidence that they are putting up, but it's my opinion that because the charges actually say first degree and deliberation, that they are well prepared to prove that she knew exactly what she was doing. And if you could just go with what she was doing afterwards, she rented a van, she moved the body, she did this, she did. She was texting. She texted a list to her daughter of materials she needed to clean up a crime.
That is interesting. That bottom tweet says said they aren't
Mhm.
planning to plead not guilty by reason of insanity, but they do want to enter evidence of testimony by a mental health expert. So
Meaning,
that's
yeah.
what I
Mhm.
wanted. That's what I'm waiting to hear, is because I want to know what they're going for with that one.
Hmm. Well, they want to do evidence of her mental condition after Gannon's disappearance. They're going to try, because here's the thing: if it, as you said, one of the most interesting pieces of of evidence that you saw, and you've said it twice now, just in this hour that we've been here, was the fact that she changed her story 4 times, like that
Mm-hmm.
quickly, right? So to me, and you guys know I'm not a lawyer, I'm not even a paralegal. I just love this stuff. But to me, common sense is telling me that's her defense right there. Her erratic behavior. That not a sane person would not try to enter evidence from fake polygraph.com or sit there and make up these outrageous stories like that. Like this might be grasping at the last straw or that's out there for her as far as getting, some something on her side, because the actual physical evidence is damning. The GPS, the phone records, the Google searches, the amount of blood and DNA, the matching up of the weapon to the wound, to the cause of death, to the where it happened, the crime scene, putting her everywhere that everything happened. It's very damning. It's a pretty tight case, unless you throw in that did she actually know what she was doing? Like, where else can they go, Jay? That's probably the only thing I
The,
see.
the I was just thinking about that. There's still an option where they could bring in where she had help.
Who?
Um,
Who are you thinking they're going to do
that
that?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Because I don't see any evidence to the fact that she may have had help. But I can see them trying to go, hey, it wasn't just her. It was somebody else, and she was covering for someone else.
Hmm. Yeah. No. I see, but who? I don't. I don't think so. Look at some of the like. Did you get to see any of the text messages between her and her friend, talking about that story where they were covered in blood and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah, it made no
eh,
sense to me.
it doesn't. I couldn't even understand what she was saying.
Yeah, I mean,
Eh,
yeah, I've read it, and it was like this makes no sense. What is she talking about?
Okay, this is to Nicole, right? Uh,
No,
Yeah, it says participant Nicole, the owner, outgoing. When we came back inside from smoke, there was blood on both of us. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I would get fussed out about it, and I don't know if he should go to the doctor. I kept trying to add the cardio thing, but Albert kept saying it was small and minor, and I was scared the basement was smoky, and when I threw the coils on everything, we both had blood. Like, I don't understand that.
yeah,
You know,
um,
I do not. Mm, I don't understand what they were saying. But she actually sent it to her daughter to get carpet powder and baking soda and large trash bags. Yeah, and right after that and stuff like that. But that's what I don't understand is if you're sane enough to make lists and to rent a vehicle and put in a missing persons call. Um, like, where does that defense start or end? Because, like, if you're
yeah.
maybe it wasn't, even
It's
if it
gonna be
was in the
interesting.
moment, she was rational enough to cover the act up afterwards, and that does not go in her defense. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Always Createful said I read that she stated she had PTSD from assaults and compared herself to a military vet. I didn't see that anywhere.
oh, I didn't. I'm gonna look, but there's so
Yeah.
much. I mean, okay, just as an example, when I searched Stauch just on one news site, I went to that KDRO,
KRDO. Yep.
KRDO, and I searched, and there was like 90 articles, um, news articles about it. And yet there hadn't been that much going on for the last few months. I mean, there were only a couple that were written, but that's how much information is out there. So it's probably in an article. A lot of people, like the interview room and places like that, everybody's looking into it. Like, there are plenty of crime channels out there. I think I'll start linking a couple of my favorites to give them some PR out there. Oh, this, Jay's might be one. His link is down there below if you want to check out serial killers. He got a great one out there on his first one that he
Yeah.
did. Mm.
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Yes, on the Night Stalker. That's a good one. But if you like that stuff, because there is a lot of information out there always, and believe me, I know you like this too. We can talk more because you know we're going to do another update on this one because I want to find out after. I think the trial, the hearing, one of the hearings is in December.
Mm.
For whether or not the curious thing is she's gonna they're gonna have this hearing on mental health evidence, but and everything, and she doesn't want to be there. She just wants to. Now she's representing herself now, and she didn't want to be there. She didn't want to come to the preliminary hearing, and they said she had to because it affects the criminal case if you're not there. So like she had to be there, okay? But she wanted to leave. She left, and they just did the preliminary hearing without her. Jay,
Hmm.
she's up for murder, and she doesn't want to see the evidence. And yet in the letters that she's writing is about she doesn't get to see the evidence and she doesn't get to hear what they're saying. But then when she had the opportunity to be in the courtroom and hear everything that's being presented against her, she's not there. Like, it's like, I think is she playing crazy to try to, I don't know. This is
Like I
like,
said, I don't. It's going to be interesting to see which direction
mm,
her defense takes this, because I want to see I want to see the creativity the defense can come up with.
let me read this because if my friend says this, she read it. This is true. Her daughter did travel with her to Florida and has refused to cooperate with the investigators, which is why I didn't read it. Security footage, cell data, and receipts placed Harley with her mom in Florida at the time. You are correct. Always, you probably read that part in one of the articles, and thank you very much, Rakin, for providing that because it's something that I did not jot down fully enough for this. But there you go. So now that's not going to be part of the next update. We got that one cleared up, but that's it. Thank you very much because they do have like tons of security, GPS, phone. Everybody's phones were on and off, and things like that. That's another thing, she even had the thing about not being, the PTSD and not being present. And it was such an emotional thing when the incident, and that's what I'm going to call it from now on because it's quite disturbing for me to use the other language. So I hope you'll give me the grace. But when the incident occurred, she was using his phone to answer the father, like,
Yeah.
can I play Zelda, this, and then, do this, and then actually put in a comment like they're trying to steer it like it would have been the dad that was, using the phone when they did the search thing and everything, and was searching some things on the phone, using Gannon's phone to do this, and acting like he was not obviously present when those text messages happened. They have narrowed it down that couldn't be. So I don't understand how she could say she wasn't in her right mind. I mean, that was within an hour. Within an hour of the event, she was on the, answering his phone.
I know it was one of the podcasts I listened to today about it. They had mentioned that she had a habit of deleting and reinstating all her social media accounts all the time. So it's like if she does that continuously, you would think she'd be able to understand. Don't take your phone with you when you go places. That you're doing stuff you're not supposed to do.
Yep, that's just it. There's so much contradiction in just her movements and attitude itself, except for that it doesn't make any. The only thing I see, the common thread through the whole thing, is it doesn't make no sense what she's saying and doing. Now, I gotta say, the way they laid everything out as how it probably happened and the way they're documenting, that makes perfect sense to me. I don't like. I would like to wait for the child. This is all alleged, but I'm not a lawyer. Like I'm not in the legal system. I can actually say, I'm just a layperson. I'm going to say what I'm seeing. Just what they laid out. Okay, Jay. But I'm going to have to agree with you. Like I don't really see. I want to know why, and I want to know like what happened, like what made you do that. But I just don't have it in me right now to think that perhaps she didn't. And it's not a comfortable feeling, but I really feel for this child. It didn't have to happen. It did not, and I want to see her not get off on just didn't know what I was doing, because I see evidence that she did.
Yeah,
I see her
yeah,
actions afterwards,
yep.
um, and then always
And
is
her
saying.
horrible way to try and cover things up, and yeah, just
Mhm. Always is saying that she wants to go pro se, which means, without the attorney, but she can't get to the prison library when she is scheduled. Exactly. And then she's trying to blame that on everybody else, like in the letters that she's sending back and forth and the complaints that she's putting out. It's like, she wants to represent herself, but she won't be at the preliminary trial. Like, I don't, make that make sense. Like, I don't see a benefit to that. How does that benefit her at all not to be there? Like, unless she wants to be known as not knowing what she's doing, and like, I don't know. And this ain't Idaho, so it's not like they're gonna lock her up forever and she just never get. I'll have to look up the laws on there for Colorado to see if they're gonna be able to put her in a mental institute for life or something. The whole lot smells higher than 3-week-old fish in the sun in the middle of summer. Just saying, Peter, you're not right. It stinks. And it's very, I was laughing at the absurdity, and that's all it was. It's just her statements are
Mhm.
so bizarre. They like blow my mind. And that's where this like uncomfortable giggle thing is coming from. It's not that I think this is funny at all. It's absurd. It's bizarre. It's like insane. But the tragedy of what is happening to this young child is. Uh, mm, is too much, and she needs to be held accountable. It's going to be very interesting to watch the trial, and the whole time I'm going to be rooting for the prosecution. And I don't usually, because I like to see the loopholes. I like to see what people can. To me, the fascinating part is finding all those little things that they can use against each other to watch. I know other people find it boring, but the tit for tat back and forth, I like that. Like, I like that. I like the when they throw this out there and say, "Oh no, no, it's going to be this way," and then the other guy goes, "Whack it back." No, it's like this. No, I live for that. But in this case, I don't know what they're going to be able to throw loopholes at the
Mhm.
prosecution. The way those charges are, and then after they got amended, I don't know if they do that very often there, but they actually amended it with the weapons and the amount of brutality, and that's strong. It's like they want to get the strongest sentence that they can. And I think the more that she acts out and the more that she is doing all of this bizarre behavior and these bizarre requests and
Mhm.
accusations, the more they're going to come for her as hard as they can, because she's really pushing it. She's really, really pushing
Yeah.
it, you know?
I said
I
I'd be interesting to if we can get a hold of a copy of the mental evaluation when it's done, because that would be, I think that'd be an interesting read.
Well, no, that we will never get. They will be testimony, and there may be
Yeah, well,
transcripts
yeah,
later.
we'll get
We'll
the
never get
testimony.
that
We'll
report. Oh
never,
no,
well, we
no,
won't get
yeah,
the
we'll never
actual,
get.
yeah, but we can
No,
get the
yeah,
testimony part of it.
yeah. But actually, it's not what it is. Is going. She wants to bring mental health experts in, and now there's tit for tat going back. Like they haven't agreed on it yet, because she's opening herself up for an evaluation on herself too.
Hmm.
If once you bring that expert in, the prosecution gets to use that expert also, or bring their own. Okay, so like it's we got to see what the judge is going to allow. I didn't see a determination on that yet. That hearing is going to be, I believe, next month, in a couple of weeks, and and we'll see. As if like Peter has a no here, so I'm waiting for the claim that she was possessed and not in control of her body when it all happened. Hey, that might be what the mental health expert's for. Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe that's where she's going. Like she's going to say, what
And
was that with Sybil? Wait, what was the statement from Sybil when they came in and when they, oh yeah, here goes Jay, right? So they call me in to question her, and she goes, Leticia doesn't live here anymore. There you go. That's a good one.
yeah, she won't be the first one to claim demonic possession.
Yeah, or something. But and
No.
I'm making fun of her, not the situation. But because she's oh my god, I have to just put her in a box all by herself somewhere so she doesn't keep me up at night. I'm this is one of these people that I am very happy is behind bars right now. Can you
Hmm.
imagine she was on loose with her family and trying to witnesses and everything and trying to coerce people? Like, who knows what she'd be doing?
Yeah,
Who
it's,
knows
it's
what she
it's
would be
really
doing?
hard to say.
They made a good call keeping her in there, and I hope they do until the trial, which is March of 2022. So we've got 5 or 6 months still to wait for the actual trial to start. But I have a feeling we're gonna have plenty of motions back and forth between then, and you'll be hearing about this case in a couple of weeks again. If they go through with the motions on the mental health evaluations and experts, it'll be interesting. But if you're declared competent, how do you? I guess it's the timing, right? If the
I
incident happened in January of 2020, and then you were declared competent in January of 2021 to stand trial, um, I don't know. I
yeah,
mean,
like I said, it'd be interesting to find out why they want to bring in the mental health
I'm
people.
going to look. I'm going to look into that because I don't have a lot of experience into how they look into the past events that you did on whether you were sane or not. With that, they have to go by witnesses, right? The testimony of the officers that were interviewing her.
Yeah,
Because
they'll probably talk to the officers, the detectives, friends, family.
hmm
You know, is usually what happens. Now, like I said, with this
yeah,
case, it's hard to tell which direction they're going to go with.
but aren't these the same people that are already testifying against her? Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't matter. The defense and the prosecutor can still interview whoever they want.
Yeah, well, no, I
So
know. I'm just saying, like, how the testimony? Where are we going to find like the actual like how she was actually? Because like who was home? It was just her and the child. Like they have the text messages. They're already proving what she was doing that whole time. I'm trying to think of what other evidence they will have for the contrary. You know what I mean? Because everything I see says she was acting to protect herself and to cover things up, and she seemed to have her wits about her enough. She was frantic, yes, I would imagine. I mean, I would hope so. It was just a terrible thing that was done. I hope she was really upset and frantic. But she had enough sense to do what she was doing, to make moves in her best interest. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
what? Where is that contrary evidence going to come from? Yeah. Yeah, where my mind goes on it. And on that was one whole hour of a very, very disturbing, disturbing case. This is a better one right here because Davros just murdered a Vegemite and cheese sandwich. There you go.
nasty,
hmm
just nasty.
There you go. Better you do that with that ranch than that stuff you were doing before, dude. It's like I don't know. But everybody's back. Hopefully, everybody understands, and we're all good. Thank you, Josh. I found it interesting. Hopefully, I didn't drive you guys crazy with the amount of information and going around in circles. Because honestly, Jay and I, it is so big, we didn't know where to start with it.
Yeah,
If we started at the actual affidavit at the beginning, which was 32 pages long, we'd be here for 8 hours just telling you about that. So we just wanted to give you the tidbits back and forth. I will link some good sites later on the bottom of the video for you to check out if you want to know. Great. Thank you very much. I couldn't do it without you, Boo. I appreciate the compliment and
oh,
thank you.
thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Jay thanks you too, And Jay helping me out because I'm just a little overwhelmed with this one and not feeling, Bear needs a nap, right, Jay? Bear,
Bear
Bear
sounds
needs
tired.
Bear needs a nap for sure. But thank you all for being here. Tomorrow we have Am I the Asshole with Mr. Serious, one of Cheshire's mods. You may know him. He's pretty funny. He's been on my channel before. We've been some interesting stuff you might want to check out. I actually tried to give him flirt lessons at one time live. Yeah, it's a Can We Be Friends? It's over there in topics, but he's a nice guy. He's pretty funny. We'll be doing that at 8 o'clock tomorrow, after my nap. And then I'm very excited about this, Jay. Are you excited? Do you want to tell them? Do you want to tell them what we're doing on Wednesday?
Wednesday,
Yeah.
part 2 of Nexium.
Mm, over on Heretico's channel. 7:30? Yeah.
7.
Early. Let's just say 7 or 7:30. It's one of those. I
I
know
think
it's
it's
7 or 7.
7:30. I think it's
Yeah.
7:30.
I promise to put it up on my channel by tomorrow, everyone, on the back where I put anytime I'm doing a panel visit. So I'm doing that over at Hereticals. I love talking about Nexium. Stacy, if you're still here in chat, I loved your video at Righteousverse. They did great coverage of the cult Nexium also. So you guys check that out too. But if you're interested, we're doing a deep dive. We're covering Nancy Saltzman rather.
Nancy Saltzman
And who are you covering? Because I know I got Nancy. Who do you got?
Tony Natali.
And Tony Natali, the two women that kind of held Keith Rainier's hand into this hot mess.
The two that were there at the absolutely very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, the two that are giving women, unfortunately, a bad name right now. But,
well, yeah. Tony, Natali wasn't really that, but she was there at the beginning, but wait till Wednesday, you'll understand what I'm saying, because she was there at the beginning. She wasn't really.
Also, you gave me the hot mess with all the blame. Thank you.
Oh no,
okay. I gave you that. I like it.
I gave you the hot mess to blame. I get the hot mess that had to suffer.
Yeah. Oh, that's I hate that. There are so many victims in this. That is also a part.
Yeah, Tony Natali is probably, I would consider, the first victim of Nexium.
I think, you know what, you're right. She was, because she didn't. Well, we'll go over that all tomorrow. But I have questions. I hope you're ready.
And then Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be dropping my next video on True Serial, and that will be on the backpack killer Ivan Milat.
Milat. Oh, so you did do him. Great. Yeah,
for our friends down under.
I wanted to check that out. I heard that name drop, over there in Aussieville where we hang out. Yeah. And
Ivan Milat.
I know nothing about him, so I'm thrilled. I'm not even going to look up the name. I'm going to just watch it cold.
Have you seen the movie Wrong Turn?
If I did, I'm going to forget all about it till I watch your video.
Wrong Turn was loosely based off of Ivan Milat. And yes, Davros, it was your suggestion.
And thank you for it, and thank you for the compliment, Peter. And whoever brought the pineapple pizza, you're a hero! Yay! Like, bring us pineapple pizza.
Damn it,
and coffee, because Jay hates coffee. I don't know what's wrong with him. I can't even believe I'm up here with him. And on that, I'm gonna put on the outro and throw him out of here because he don't like coffee. It's like, I can't believe I hang with you, dude. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. But thank you again for helping me with this. Yep. I will see you. I'll see you when I see you. Most likely Wednesday morning for sure. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And those of you on the replay, too, hit that subscribe if you like this channel. Thank I'm Falcon Reagan for my great new intro, because damn, she's the bomb. She's so talented. That thing is better than I could ever dream of. And thank you very much. I love it. And it's getting great views. So there you go. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.
See you later, everybody.